Americans, do you want universal health care? Why not? Americans, you're already paying for health care, you're just not getting it. Your money is going elsewhere. Hospitals deliberately and carefully conceal costs so tourists no way to identify waste, to pint at a hospital and say they charge twice as much for worse care. It's a black box. That needs to change. I'm a Canadian who used to work in the healthcare industry in the distribution of hospital supplies. I knew exactly what each thing costs, down to a single cotton ball. While in the US once I was hospitalized and the itemized bill they gave me was robbery. Meanwhile in Canada, I've been sick and injured so many times I've lost count of how many hospital stays I've had as well as several major surgeries. I've never paid a single penny for any of it. My daughter had a fever abroad in France. We debated frantically if we should take her to the doctor because we didn't know how our insurance would cover it. We thought the worst and that it was COVID. The doctor did a full exam for 30. We were expecting a huge bill after. Nothing ever came. Yeah, the healthcare system in the USA is utter corporatized filth. Burn it to the ground. Edit, oh Lord, I was just venting while drinking last night and I just came back to Reddit tonight. I got stabbed 10 times standing up for a woman. I was charged over $10,000 for the ambulance ride, surgery, and additional medical. It was worth every penny. But I was left in debt before my adult life started. I find this so scary. A couple of years ago our then 9-year-old daughter fell off her bike and ruptured her spleen. I drove her to our nearest hospital, which is an hour away, where we attended a. We spent 6 hours at the local hospital whilst they assessed what was wrong, and this included pain relief, sonogram and a CT scan. Once they found the ruptured spleen, we were transferred by air ambulance to the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne, which would have been a 4.5-hour drive, where she stayed for 6 days seeing the best children's surgeons etc. And how much did that cost us, you ask? Nothing, aside from the $80 per year fee to be in Ambulance Victoria. And RCH Melbourne is literally one of the leading kids' hospitals in the world. That all sounded like a terrifying amount of money until you said Melbourne. Yes, thank goodness for universal healthcare. I wouldn't want to be making a decision about whether we could afford to get our daughter the help she needed. And we love the children's with their enormous fish tank, the meerkat habitat that the kids can see the meerkats and the Captain Starlight room. Damn, I would have to lose a few decades and breach quarantine, but meerkats, I'd be there in a flash. That's so nice. I don't want to change providers every time I change jobs. I also don't want to prop up an insurance industry worth billions of dollars. So, yeah. The politician that manages to divorce health insurance from employment will be revered through history. In other countries as well, you get some health insurance from your job. It is just that the universal one is comprehensive enough that it doesn't matter as much. In Australia, virtually nobody gets health insurance from our jobs. We are encouraged, there's an additional tax on income earners above a certain threshold who don't do so, to buy private health insurance individually for oneself or oneself plus one's family, partner and kids under the age of 26, so that there is less demand for the universal healthcare system. I've had an MRI, a few CT scans, had broken bones fixed, went to got x-rayed, and got a cast on my hand while paying $0, without paying a cent. Edit, just to be clear, the treatments I described were after I turned 26 and therefore had no health insurance, and I'm still too poor as a graduate student to be able to afford private insurance. I'm sitting in my house with a torn something in my knee, probably still bleeding based on the spreading bruise, waiting 2 weeks for some lackey to decide that I'm worthy of an MRI because I can't talk to an ortho without an MRI because rules. Also, I can pay for the visit, MRI and probably most of the PT out of my own pocket, which will set back years financially. Yeah, I want health insurance I can go use when I actually need and not worry about it ruining me. Give me all of that goodness. Edit, I should add that I have insurance, yet I have a kid and my deductible is like $6,000. So I may as well not have insurance. I know someone who lost her husband because some lackey decided he didn't need a heart MRI. While they were waiting for the appeal to go through, he died. Guess what? It was something that would have been found with the MRI and would have been immediately treatable and he would have lived. People always bring up wait times in countries with universal healthcare. They don't ever talk about our system where we pay out of the nose and still have to wait or get flat out denied. I had some weird symptoms, nerve pain, laggy leg, other stuff. Doctor tried to tell me it was sciatica. It was not. I was in my 20s. My primary doctor sent me to a neurologist, who ordered an MRI. Because of the misdiagnosis, the MRI was rejected by Medicaid, no prior authorization. I appealed and won my appeal, but the process took so long the MRI found nothing of note. 7 years and a lot of other weird things and periods spent with no medical care due to no insurance. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Diagnosing neurologist looking at my brain scans telling me I have a lot of lesions. I have the relapsing remitting type, so it was years of symptoms, nothing, weird things, nothing. I have permanent symptoms now though. Your doctor ordered an MRI and it was rejected? By who? How is that even a thing? I mean, if my doctor Canada puts in for an MRI for me, I'll be getting an MRI, either in a couple days, or maybe a month or two, depending on the priority level set for the scan. Sauce, have had literally dozens of MRIs and ongoing, get a couple regularly scheduled every year now. Has never cost a dime. In before someone else says you do pay. In taxes, I've done the math elsewhere, but in short, family of 4, $80K a year income when I worked it out. Taking my total tax burden, income tax plus sales tax on my remaining net income, and the percentage of tax dollars that go to healthcare, I pay $2,400 a year in total for end-to-end healthcare for all 4 of us, with not even a concept of billing, let alone deductibles, co-pays, and other such shit. So sure, I do pay, but show me a US-based insurance plan that would cover a family of 4 to that extent with no deductibles or networks or such shit. And employer-paid insurance is still out of your pocket. They have a budget for staff, and the cost of the insurance provided comes from that budget every bit as much as wages do. Your doctor ordered an MRI and it was rejected? By who? How is that even a thing? By some insurance duck requiring prior authorization then rejecting it via an algorithm that tells him the doctor wanting the test is wrong. That is, no bullshit, how this system works. I cannot fathom how a distinct private organization can challenge the use of diagnostic tests ordered by a medical officer and delay prevent it. That sounds absolutely absurd to me, and it's disgusting how hospitals have to fight with insurance companies over what constitutes as necessary treatment, but I guess that's just symptomatic of a broken system. #X200B, how this is in any way defensible is something that I will never be able to comprehend. It's to reduce waste and fraud, implying that it is the providers who are overbilling or billing incorrectly to make money. The reality is we're ordering stuff because we're not sure and don't want to be sued later. Yes, the patient really does need that surgery. And yes, the patient really does need that medication and the approved medications aren't appropriate. Not to say there isn't fraud and abuse. But I doubt enough to saddle every provider and their staff with extra work and then create worse outcomes. At least for my part of the healthcare sector, I can be audited by the insurance company. And they will take money from me if they find something wrong. Hospital bills are huge in the US, partly to make up for the fact there are so many who walk into the ER without insurance and then can't pay the bill. So they charge as much as they can to make up for it. Americans who shriek about not wanting to pay for someone's poor choices don't realize they are already doing it in the least efficient and most expensive way possible. My current job is slowly driving me insane, but I can't leave because my health insurance is through them. And I can't take half the jobs I want because they either don't have it, or have strings attached. If we had universal healthcare, I could take far greater economic risks without having to worry about potentially being saddled with life-altering debt from a clumsy misstep. You can't have a because corporations need you to feel trapped. Otherwise you'd go work somewhere else and they'd have to spend money to replace you. Except many jobs are moving to gig economy, hiring part-time workers without benefits anyway and leaving people uninsured. So those who do have insurance through work feel extra trapped. Yes. I have worked in healthcare for 25 years and I can't afford to go to a doctor. They act like it's some huge favor for the insurance companies to pay for yearly preventative care, but God forbid they find anything on us. Deductibles are so high that you'll go broke trying to pay for addition testing and treatment. Yes. Because cancer is a bitch. I had good insurance and it still ducked me over. I'll spend the rest of my life trying to pay this off and chances are, I never will. I'm not even 30 yet. Absolutely. And I would happily pay more taxes to make it happen. Everyone deserves the opportunity of early diagnoses, everyone deserves medication to heal, everyone deserves a quality life. I didn't get glasses until I was 26 because I was afraid of the cost. I still have my wisdom teeth that flare up sometimes and cause pain. I want to contribute so people aren't financially ruined for being in an accident.